Is up, y'all? Welcome back to episode 64 of That's No Moon Pod. Today we got the brand new trailer for The Acolyte, the upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series set to release this summer. And there have been a lot of talks leading up to this show, a lot of rumors circling around. What exactly is it going to be like? Um, the tone, and just pretty much what we can expect from this series. And I've watched the trailer a few times now. It's only a minute 45 seconds. So pretty much just a first official teaser trailer, I guess. And I want to talk about my thoughts, what I think we can expect, and just the overall, I guess, what's the vibe around it. Um, the way the trailer starts seems like we're back on Coruscant, some kind of Jedi temple with the actor from Squid Games, the lead from that show. Um, he's kind of just teaching these younglings. They're meditating. Lee Jung Jae, the name of the actor. Uh, seems like somewhat of a flashback scene with all these younglings. He's asking them, "What do they see? Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you." Some kids just say life, balance, and then one kid says fire, and then jump straight into Carrie Ann Moss, Trinity from The Matrix. She's getting in some kind of scrap with somebody with a knife, and Carrie Ann Moss, she's using her force abilities. Um, and from what I understand, this show takes place at least 100 years before the Phantom Menace, at least 100 years. Again, we're probably going to be getting some flashbacks in this series, so it could go back even further than that. Um, then we get some cool scenery shots, um, getting a little bit more better looks of the characters. We get the Wookiee Jedi in there. We get a glimpse of him. Um, and one of the dialogue from the trailer, I think a lot of people are talking about. This girl says that it's not about good or evil. Um, it's about power and who's allowed to use it. Um, and that kind of got some people talking about, well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that statement, but um, the trailer just kind of shows little clips here and there. It looks like the show is going to be moving around a lot, which is good. It didn't seem like it was as grounded in one location. It looked like there was actual set pieces and on location shots. Um, and the trailer pretty much ends with this red lightsaber getting thrown through the trees, and somebody catches it, and then about 8 different Jedi light up their sabers and start to run towards the person holding the red lightsaber, and then they just get forced pushed back big time. A whole bunch of dirt and dust just gets blown by. So whoever it is that's wielding the red lightsaber definitely got some power to him to be able to do that to all these Jedi. And since this takes place way before Phantom Menace, these Jedi are in their prime. There's a lot roaming around. Um, and they all should have this, basic knowledge and pretty much what the Jedi stand for from what we saw in the prequels. It's just going to be that, but even more elevated, I'm assuming. The overall look of the trailer, it's kind of hard to give a full on synopsis because it was such a short trailer, and they really just wanted to give us the tone that they were going for, I guess. Seems real dark, mysterious. Um, we don't know what's going on, and they're making us assume that the characters in the show have no idea what's going on. Um, for one of the kids to say that she sees fire, um, setting up some kind of battle with, I don't know if it's going to be the Sith exactly, because from what I remember from the Phantom Menace, they had said that the Sith had been gone for years, and this show could just be pretty much the last time that anyone actually came into contact with the Sith up until the Phantom Menace, which would be cool. Um, as far as that line said about the power, it's not about good or evil, it's about power and who's really allowed to use it. Um, I don't think it's that big of a deal as some people might think it is. It could just be something in the show that, obviously, no matter what, when it comes to Star Wars, there's someone that wants some kind of power, and some people either use it for good or they use it for evil. And it seems like that's kind of be the driving force of the show. And again, there had been leaks or rumors, I guess, about the show, about maybe some Padawans or something, where one decides to take the light side, but the other ends up kind of falling into darkness. And I think that might be the person that we see wielding the red lightsaber at the end of the trailer. I was trying to look at the hand because once the red lightsaber gets thrown and it comes back and then someone catches it, to me it looked like it could be a female's hand. Um, so my mind was already thinking maybe this person with the red lightsaber was already in the trailer. It could be the Padawan that said that she saw fire. But maybe not. It could be man. Um, I watched a lot of different people's reactions to the trailer today. Um, the Den of Nerds, Star Wars Theory, Christian Harloff, some of the guys that I watch, and I like to get their point of views on things, especially Star Wars. Um, for the most part, Den of Nerds and Christian Harloff were digging it. Um, Star Wars Theory was a little bit more cautious, which I completely understand. Um, I mean, if this trailer came out 2, 3 years ago, and this was the show that we were getting just a couple years back, I think the hype and the anticipation for me personally would be crazy. Just seeing the timeline that we're in, we're not following no Skywalker story, or we're not in the post OT era. We're kind of in this brand new time that we've never gotten before in Star Wars, which is cool. Um, I don't know what it is about the trailer. Um, it didn't wow me like I kind of was hoping for. The posters look cool beforehand that they drop. Um, it's just something about Disney, Star Wars. I think it's just the look of it. The look just kind of feels, I don't want to say fan made, but there's just some shots in the trailer that made me think back to some of the shots in Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett. Some of the set designs just kind of look too volumey as well. Um, the tone overall, I think the tone is exactly what we were kind of been hoping for. Just this dark, mysterious tone. Um, but Disney Star Wars just kind of has this mystique around it that, I mean, it's a given that now, from what they've released throughout these years, hasn't necessarily been up to par with what a lot of Star Wars fans have been wanting. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just something about the look of it to where just some shots look amazing. There's one shot where this woman's like running through a burning forest and it looks like it's on set or on location, and just the cinematography of that shot. Um, a lot of the scenery looks like we're gonna be going on some kind of ice or snow planet, which is cool. The landscapes look real nice, but it's just some of the set designs that kind of throw me off a little bit. Um, I'm not fully digging the look in the trailer, at least. Once the show comes out, it might just play a lot better, which I'm sure it will. Um, Star Wars Theory made a comment talking about how there wasn't enough aliens in the trailer, at least. And again, I could kind of see where he's coming from. I do think that, when it comes to Star Wars, especially this timeline, and there's going to be a whole lot of Jedi, a whole lot of Padawans. Um, I would like to see more alien species or just these kids that just kind of look different and not just like some, regular kid actors. Um, that's what I always liked about Star Wars, just the diversity of it all. It's always been like that. But I'm sure we'll get some more of that with more looks that we get in the future and once the whole show comes out. Um, if you look at the just kind of the likes and dislikes on the YouTube trailer, this was 8 hours ago. It had 85,000 thumbs up, but 60,000 thumbs down on the trailer. And that was several hours ago. So already the kind of discourse is already starting to show a little bit with this trailer. And again, I just think it's something that Disney has done to Star Wars that just has people more than cautiously optimistic. I think that would be what they would rather hope for. But I think more people are just approaching the show more cautiously rather than optimistically. Um, because yeah, again, if this trailer had came out 2, 3 years ago, I think the hype would have been a lot better than what it is right now. Um, I don't understand why it took so long for us to get a show like this that's centered around Jedi and kind of just showing us the prime of them and kind of how they went about their business before the prequels. You would think that, I mean, Disney gets a hold of Lucasfilm and Star Wars, that obviously they're going to make the movies, but once they get this whole TV show deals going on, I would think that that would be one of the first ones that they would make, um, giving us a whole lot of lightsabers, a whole lot of fights, Sith, just overall people using the Force. Um, but they've kind of tiptoed around all that for some reason. Um, but if this show's a banger and they're able to kind of paint this picture of this time within the Jedi and the Sith, and they do it really well, it could set up certain things that we could get in the future. Um, I'm thinking a lot of the main Jedi that we see aren't gonna make it out of the series. Um, People were wondering whether or not we were gonna get possibly a Yoda cameo in the trailer because he's definitely around, and I think it's a safe bet to assume that Yoda would be in this in the Acolyte. Um, Whether it's just a small cameo here and there. Um, I think it's pretty much just a given that Yoda will be in the show. How much exactly, I'm not so sure, because I think if you throw in Yoda, automatically people are just going to be clamored to him, especially when he's a little younger from where we see him in the Phantom Menace. He's uh, probably able to do a lot more stuff than from what we saw from him in Return of the Jedi and Attack of the Clones. But I think a show like this with no familiar faces at all, no familiar names, I think Yoda is a safe bet. Throw him in there, get people a little bit more excited to watch the show and kind of see what Yoda does, or at least just kind of see what his role in the show would be. Um, but yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for the show. There had been some things said by the showrunner um, leading up to this show that started a little bit of controversy within the fans, of course. Um, but yeah, it's just crazy that again that it took this long for us to get a show like this with so many Jedi. I'm hoping that this show does well. That way, in the near future, we end up getting more content like this, and if the show works out and it's got good ratings and all that, maybe we could go further back and finally get an Old Republic show or a movie. Because I think that's exactly how you get everybody back on board with Star Wars. Is if you just go in a completely different time where there's a whole lot of Sith and a whole lot of Jedi just fighting for power within the galaxy. Um, Completely new faces, new names, all that, and just getting these people, in their primes, at the height of their power, and just kind of showing us this new era. You can do it Game of Thrones style. Um, all the cinematic trailers for the old school Star Wars games, the Knights of the Old Republic series. All those cinematic trailers are 10 times better than what we've gotten from Disney so far, which is crazy. Um, I'm curious to see how they do the lightsaber battles in the show because I think that's kind of been something that's been just off with Disney. Well, one of the things that's been off with Disney Star Wars. Um, Even in the sequel trilogy, the lightsaber duels just ain't it. And I think that's part of the reason why there's just some kind of disconnect with the fans. Um, and I remember thinking that when watching the sequel trilogy, even The Force Awakens, where I was just, you're waiting for it. Just we're getting these lightsabers, and the duels just kind of seem very stiff, and they just seem like they're not as choreographed as well as they should be. I know everyone who loves The Last Jedi, they'll talk about the throne room scene um, with Kylo and Rey. Um, and that scene was cool. Um, I kind of wish we would got a lot more of that throughout the series and with the whole Disney Plus shows. Um, I really think that's something that can be elevated with Disney Star Wars. Um, and especially if you got these Jedi and the Acolyte who are in their primes and at the height of their power pretty much, they should be able to do what, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen and all these Jedi that we saw in the prequel trilogy, all these Jedi and the Acolyte should be able to do that just as good, if not better. Um, and that's really what I'm hoping for, especially if we do end up getting some kind of Jedi versus Sith battle. I'm gonna be looking at the way they're fighting because if it looks like some Ahsoka lightsaber duel or um, just kind of the way that the sequel trilogy lightsaber duels have been, um, I think that's gonna throw me off, and I think that's gonna throw a lot more people off too as well. Because I miss it, man. You go back and you watch the prequels, and I find myself doing this all the time, especially um, I really like watching people's first reactions to Star Wars, or people that haven't seen it before, and um, them giving their reactions to all the movies on YouTube. But seeing everybody's reaction, where when it's the Darth Maul, Qui Gon, Obi Wan fight, the whole scene when Qui Gon goes down and it's Obi Wan and Darth Maul 1v1, just that whole sequence, you just see the integrity and the dedication to the fighting style that was taken by Ewan McGregor and Ray Park, and then just seeing, obviously Obi Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar, just the choreography throughout that whole scene, and obviously Yoda versus Palpatine. Um, all of it just seems a lot better and a lot just has way more integrity. And I really think that they need to step it up with this show, The Acolyte. And I think the actors need to put in the work and the time to be able to pull off this certain fight choreography. Because Carrie Ann Moss, Trinity, um, everyone just calls her Trinity, which is funny, but she is Trinity. Um, Seems like she's doing a lot of hand-to-hand combat, which is cool. Even Lee Jong Jae, uh, one moment in the trailer, seems like he's kind of doing these hand-to-hand combat style fighting as well, which I think would be cool to see in Star Wars a little bit more. I had always said that, I mean, you get any kind of movie, any, especially, I mean, obviously an action movie, but it could be any movie, and you throw in a crazy, well choreographed hand-to-hand combat fight scene like Ong Bak, Ip Man, The Raid, these kind of old school Jackie Chan fight scenes. Um, it just elevates the movie that much more, elevates the scene that much more. Um, so if they're able to implement some cool martial arts choreography while throwing in some cool lightsaber fights, I think that'll go a long way for the action and just people getting more intrigued and invested in the show. I'm interested to see what they do with the story though, because at the end of the day, that's really what's gonna set this show apart from anything that Disney has done with Star Wars lately. How's the writing? How's the dialogue? Um, because the story and the writing, I think, is just going to be the main focus. I think for the people that have been very critical of Star Wars lately. Um, Mando season one, season two, and I think Andor season one have been easily the best written Star Wars that Disney has given us throughout their tenure. Um, and that's what, three projects out of how many have they done already? Um, Ahsoka was fine. It just kind of felt a little wobbly here and there. Um, some of the dialogue and some of the plot lines were a little shaky, in my opinion. Even though it was cool that we finally got this Ahsoka series with the whole cast and crew from the Rebels show. Um, I'm just hoping that things get back on track sooner rather than later for Star Wars. It seemed like the whole Battlefront Classic Collection was a flop for them as well. A lot of issues on launch. Um, Still had fun playing it. I gotta hop back on it. I was a little disappointed though because for me at least, I don't know if it's something that's for everyone, but I tried live streaming it on Twitch when it dropped, and it told me that this game doesn't allow live streaming for whatever reason. And every time I had tried it since, it just would show the Twitch um, stream feed and wouldn't show the gameplay or anything like that. And if that's just some issue on my end, I'll try to figure it out. But if that's the case, because I mean, Star Wars Theory was live streaming it, and I'm sure there's been a lot of people that have been able to as well. But for whatever reason, it didn't allow me to live stream it, and that was kind of one of the big reasons why I wanted to play it in the first place, so I could just live stream it, hop on, and just have fun on live. But um, yeah, I don't know. So far, things are still looking a little shaky with Star Wars. Um, Still been a lot of rumors and speculation with the Rey movie. Supposedly, I mean, things aren't a full go as of yet. There's still rumors that the movie is getting pushed back even more or might even get shelved. Um, a lot of leaks, a lot of rumors so far on what the show might possibly be about. Heard something about Ray having these two apprentices, and one decides to stay on the light side, and one goes dark. And there's some kind of evil force out there as well. So there's kind of like this theme going on with the whole Ray movie, and just the vibes around the movie just haven't been good from the jump, especially from the director's comments and just the kind of storm that created with the fans and all that. Um, yeah, only time will tell, I guess. I'll definitely be tuning into the Acolyte. Um, I think the more footage we get, and hopefully they show a little bit more on what we can expect from the story as well in the near future. Because the show comes out this summer, so it's right around the corner, and I think they could have done a little bit better of a job of releasing some kind of trailer to really get the hype going. I do feel like they kind of played it a little safe with the amount of footage that they showed. Um, from what I heard, the trailer was pretty much the exact thing that was shown at Star Wars Celebration in Europe. last year, I believe, with maybe a couple scenes here and there that were brand new, but the majority of the trailer was already shown to the Star Wars Celebration fans there last year. So again, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll definitely be tuning in. I'm hoping for the best, hoping that they can turn out something that's worth our while and intrigues us fans, and wants us to hopefully ask for more of this time and this period of the Jedi and the Sith. But only time will tell. Follow me on Twitch, y'all. Again, I'll try to figure out the deal with the Battlefront Classic Collection, but I'll still be on there gaming, sniping. Follow me on all my socials. All the links will be down in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. But until next week, y'all stay safe, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace.